everyone I talked to would just telling me, and again, it wasn't even recruiting, just tell me how much they like it, and then just seeing like-minded people too. Like everybody had maybe a little side hustle they were doing too on the side. They all wanted to build big teams and just big thinkers, and I loved it.
Listen, thanks for your time. I mean, I know I got a chance to meet you at family reunion too, but this is just more of an interview to kind of get to know you from how you even got to where you are and how your business operates, and maybe a little bit of a tip for people out there that are trying to aspire to be like you one day, and just more celebrating you and your success.
Cool.
So tell me, I know you were at Remax before, but tell me, like, how you started and how you got to be one of the top agents in the area.
So I started in advertising after college. I went to Westchester. I was in advertising doing like Google AdWords, Google SEO, stuff like that. Then had an opportunity to start a business with someone. I managed more, again, the marketing and advertising of it, and then met my wife. So I was commuting in Lancaster. That was in Paoli, Pennsylvania, and then wanted to be back in Lancaster. So we bought a house in Lancaster, and I was commuting in Paoli, but ended up really liking our real estate agent and actually bought a house in their neighborhood. So I was hanging out with them a lot, and they're the ones that started talking to me about real estate and getting into real estate. They worked for Remax, so that's why I happened to go there. And I jumped on a team to start, didn't know anything about it. Didn't stay on the team long though, just because, again, I was producing, wanted to do my own thing, and kind of hopped off the team and stayed at Remax. My first year, I probably sold 19 houses, just over $4 million. Then my second year, which would have been 2018, I did probably 40 and a little over 8 million at the end of that second year. Well, during the whole second year at Remax, I was trying to hire an assistant, but again, didn't have a lot of guidance. So I'd hire an assistant and last for a month, hire another assistant, last for a month. And then finally at the end of 2018, October, November, I brought on Sam, who's now a buyer's agent. But again, I know you're not supposed to do it. I had someone doing 2 roles to start. And that only lasted about 3 months in a good way, because I then hired Abby, a full-time admin who was awesome, who was doing 200 transactions a year for another top team in the area. And that was 2019. So 2019 was really the first year on a going full steam with a team. So it's Sam and Abby, and then August, September, I brought on Yadu and Sabrina. And Yadu started kicking butt right away, so we helped our last quarter. But then 2019, we did about 22 million, just over 90 transactions. And now we're here. So that was February, would be my third of this year, would be my third year in the business.
That's awesome, man. I mean, the trajectory, I mean, I'm assuming that the production you did in year one, was that you're the rookie of the year?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have it, and I actually switched Remaxes in there, but yeah, I did a good amount. Yeah, we don't really have that, but yeah, I mean.
So what I guess what I'm saying is your trajectory has been like this from, and then I couldn't imagine in the next couple of years what you're going to do, especially being in an environment like this where it's just, all those hiring things that you're like, okay, all right. Now there is a process, called career visioning that we have, utilizing the KPA, the Keller Personality Assessment. And I'm sure you'll learn more about that as you go through this journey with us at Keller Williams. But right now, your organization, you said you have an admin?
An admin, office manager. She does a lot, yeah.
And then you have 3 other agents?
Yes.
Now, do you let them do buy, sell, or they just do?
Mainly buying. Okay. I'm a listing agent right now.
So no one on your team list but you?
Correct.
Awesome. Okay. That's great. And then are any of those folks eventually going to become like a buyer manager or like a?
Correct. Yeah. Again, following the red book, as I believe we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So whoever steps up will then be a buyer manager position. Then hopefully hire another listing specialist.
Exciting.
And again, I sent out my first KPA actually yesterday. So just
Whoa.
got that back. So
if I had to pick one reason and or maybe one or two, you can be the judge. What would you say the reason why you left Remax to come to Keller Williams?
Opportunity and relationships. Where I met you at family reunion, that was huge for me because I'd actually never seen anything like that in a real estate company. Everybody just willing to talk to you and try and help out. I mean, I sat down with Lance Loken for 45 minutes at family reunion, which was awesome. I met you. Everyone I talked to was just telling me, and again, it wasn't even recruiting, just telling me how much they like it, and then just seeing like-minded people too. Like everybody had maybe a little side hustle they were doing too on the side. They all wanted to build big teams and just big thinkers, and I loved it. And I loved being able to go talk to someone. Oh, that person does 80 million. Oh, that person does 250 million. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome you say that. I mean, relationships and opportunity, I would say if I thought about my journey, it was opportunities. And I know I spoke to you about that. And that's the cool thing for you. Sky's the limit, right? If you want to be, operating principal, if you want to be an investor, you want to expand, which, who knows what you want to do. There's so many opportunities. So in terms of your business development for your real estate team, was there anything that excited you about the company?
The sharing too. That's what I mean. The Quinton group came up and he shared his listing presentation and everything, and the learning opportunities. I'm taking the Lance Loken training course, coaching, whatever you want to call it, through MAPS. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
Awesome. So is there, so if you were to give strategies to kind of what your team does really well, what would you say they are? What are some of the things that your team does really well?
Cold calling, lead gen, and building those relationships and nurturing them then and holding them. Because again, I'm diving into command now, this is a bad situation with the quarantine and stuff, but we transitioned over, 3 weeks ago, and we had 26 pending. And again, we were going to break records this year as far as what we thought we were going to do. And then it kind of came to a halt, but it gave me time. Now I'm going back into command. Now I forget the initial, nurturing relationships. I was watching, Jason Abrams was talking about the up and down, how everybody wants the lead at the top that's just ready to buy. We're good at getting the ones down here too and nurturing them all the way up and keeping them long term.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So cold calling, you said. Tell me what that looks like on your team. Is that you have everyone doing it with you? Like, do you guys do it a couple hours a day, a week? Like, how's that look?
We can always be better on that. I do a lot of Facebook advertising, so I would say lukewarm leads, if you want to call them that, and that's what I'm pulling in a ton of leads, and that's what also gave interest in Keller Williams as well with their new lead gen and stuff, what you guys have worked out. So yeah, I mean, we're pulling in tons of leads today, and they're just on the phone calling those leads.
So you utilize social media, is what I hear you say?
Yeah, social media and other forms.
And I think you mentioned conversion. Do you track that, or your admin track conversion to like when you give a lead, or how's that work?
Yes. As a whole, we do, and I just started doing more individually with agents. Because honestly, Yadu, he's all relationships. He's more on the team. He wants help with the structure, how it works. He was new and stuff like that, and feedback. But he's got a huge community, and he doesn't do a ton. He's just building relationships and calling out. So it's different for each agent on my team, but yeah, we're tracking conversions as a whole.
So if you were to give advice to Andrew when he first started real estate 3 years ago, now what you know, what would you tell him?
Hire slow and fire fast. Again, I said I went through 2 assistants, but I probably actually had 4 that second year where I went through. I just did fire some a little quicker than other, but I was busy, so I was trying to get whoever I could in there, and really get on the phones more. I did rely heavily in the beginning on purchasing leads and stuff like that, just because I was able to reinvest the commission I was making back into the business, and that's how I wanted to run my team, like a business. But I became a little too reliant on that, so I kind of want to get back down into getting on the phone and reaching out more.
So what I hear you say, the 2 pieces that I heard come out of there was slow to hire, quick to fire, which is like a symbol of our company. And career visioning is, I'll tell you, I mean, it literally is a step-by-step process of how to do it. And nothing's bulletproof, but really you're not going to get, if you follow it all the way through from start to finish, you are going to have a really good idea if this person is the next logical piece for your organization or not. And then the next thing you said, get on the phones more. Any idea what that looks like when you say more? Is it two? Would you recommend them to be doing lead gen 2 hours a day, every day a week, 3 hours a day? What would you recommend?
Correct. That's at least 2 hours a day, and not just calling what I gave my team, and not even calling what just came in for me for leads and stuff like that, like FSBOs, expireds, getting down and doing more of the old school stuff, you might say, that I didn't do in the beginning. Actually, that's not a lot. In the very beginning, I did do that a lot, until I had some revenue coming in that I could start throwing more into advertising. But
so
yeah,
at the beginning you did all the work, and then as you got your database started to create, you kind of got away from what got you to where you are, right?
Correct.
Don't stop that, is what I hear you say.
Yep, exactly.
That is great advice. And then what's a question that I should have asked you that I didn't, that you think would be helpful for the people that are listening?
I'm not really sure. I guess where I want to be, because I think
that is a good question. So we're sitting here, let's just say 3 years from now, and let's assume that we're a year removed from this pandemic. Where would you see yourself in your business?
The goal because the 4-year goal from now would be to net $1 million, based on my production going up. So that's where I want to be. And I mean, the reason I said it like that is not so I could tell you my goal, but that's the main reason I joined Keller Williams, because the first book I ever read before I knew anything about real estate was The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And that's what I've been following. So, I mean, and that just pushes me. And again, seeing people at Keller Williams, that's when I see, I mean, I had goals that were big for Lancaster County, but then I see people around here putting up business. I was just like, oh, my goal's not that big. Maybe I should make it bigger, which I'd love. Well,
any true Keller Williams mega, we always have one of these suckers close by because it's like a Bible for us. So that's great advice. And so $1 million net in 4 years. So we're going to be watching that happen, right?
Yeah, I know. And that's why I figure I say it out loud. Got to do it then.
And what better time now to get the systems in place to allow you to do that, right? And
correct. And that's
the right people, right?
Yeah, and the right people too. And that's what's been again, if you're looking the silver lining in all this, I was swamped. Now goes on, I can actually learn command. I'm getting back my systems down. It's going to be a good time to hire people too and bring people on, because some people are going to want those leads and stuff like that. So there is a silver lining in this.
So right now in this crazy time, you're going to really hone in on systems and models and get things ready. So when it does come back, you're ready to go and get that $1 million.
Right out the gate. Yeah, right out the gate.
That's great advice. Hey, man, listen, I think it is great information. I'm happy to be in business with you. So the $1 million net. So what do you see your volume in units being in 4 years? What's that going to look like? Just so the listeners can put the money with the production.
We're probably, I'm trying to picture my
You're at 25 million now.
What's that?
You're at 25 million, I think, right?
22.
22
yeah.
million. So 4 years from now, let's put it out there in the atmosphere so we can feel it. What is it going to be?
I think we're at 125 million.
Nice. I like that one.
And that's what, I mean, you figure, again, I think we were set to double based on what we were doing. Again, this happened, so you can't say ifs or whatever. We're hoping to do around 40 million this year. And then again, trying to double then the following year and just keep hiring. So we'll see.
I think you won't see. I think you'll do it. And I can't wait to watch the journey you're on. And hey, I'm glad to be in partnership with you. And I'm sure the opportunity part, you and I will continue to see where that goes too. So I'm excited to see you nail that and whatever comes next for you. I hope I'm part of it.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. And again, it's just been awesome, the support. So that's why I'm here, and I'm very excited.
All right, Andrew. Well, thanks, man. Glad to be part of Keller Williams and you to be part of this family. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, man. Looking forward to it.
Have a great one.
Take care, John.
Yep.